First cast. Oops, I got your line. Wait. Who got that fish?
We both did.
Come on. Okay, your bait came out.
I gotta catch fish somehow. If I gotta steal yours, I'll do it.
Oh, that's funny. You're as bad as my brother, you know that, John? He does that.
Coming up, Cape Cod has miles of fishable shorelines that are a fisherman's dream come true. Striped bass are the fish of choice, with some up to 40 pounds being caught from shore. On today's show, Bob visits the Navionics headquarters in Cape Cod and fishes with Sean Ruge from Navionics. They try a few shore fishing spots around Cape Cod in search of striped bass. And then Bob pays a visit to the Pure Fishing headquarters in Spirit Lake, Iowa to find out more about the science behind power bait and gulp. He gives the fish a taste test, and you don't want to miss the results.
Well, you made me a believer. Here comes, whoa!
Oh, where are you?
Oh, man! Oh, yeah.
You gotta love it.
Where are you?
All right. Oh, man!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Oh,
kid.
man. Way to size that one. Oh, there you got him. Yeah. There you go. All right. That is a monster.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
Nice one. Whoa. Woo-wee. That was pretty cool. Good stuff. Look at this baby. Biggest pike ever. All right. There it is. Oh, yeah. Good one. Whoa. Here he comes. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. This is what open fishing is all about, right? 16 pounds. Look at that.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Chevrolet, Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
Hey, folks, that's what I call real fishing. You got to do what you got to do, and that's the weather we've got today. It's one of those days that a lot of people aren't thinking about fishing. They're in some nice, warm, and toasty place, but we got some wind, a little bit of rain, and I'm here with Sean Ruge. Sean, thanks for joining me.
Bob, it's a pleasure. I'm glad you can come down.
Well, down here in Cape Cod, it's always a great trip to come into this part of the world. And you work for Navionics. You're the paper chart manager?
Correct. I'm the paper chart product manager.
Okay, and that's something new for Navionics, right?
It's a new venture. We're taking our inland survey program and we're backing it up now on a paper-based product to get a little different market share.
Well, I know that the charts that I use in my Lowrance are just absolutely incredible. And we're going to do a little shore fishing this morning. Can't make any promises, but we're fishing. What's this river here?
This is the Cape Cod Canal.
Oh, okay. So lots of fish. I was here the other day with one of your fellow co-workers there, Jeff Broder, and he caught a dozen stripers before he met me for breakfast in the morning. So let's go see what happens.
That's Jeff for you.
Yeah. He must come into the office smelling like fish all the time. You letting that jig get all the way down, Sean?
Yeah, let it sink all the way to the bottom. You want to bounce it back up the rocks, right along this current line. The fish will cruise up and down this rip line right along the rocks.
There must be legally you can use 2 rods per person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed there's 2 rods down there.
Yeah, you can use multiple lines in Massachusetts.
In Canada, that would be illegal because they're unattended.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to be beside them.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to see people line up rods all the way down the rocks, especially at night.
And sit in their car?
Yeah.
And wait for the rod to start bending?
Yeah, it's actually, during the summer, this can be kind of a neat place to fish because you'll get whales come through here, you'll get dolphins.
Oh yeah, they migrate right through?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every once in a while, the Coast Guard actually has to shut down the canal because they're escorting whales through.
Escorting whales.
But this time of year, striped bass are nearing the end of the migration up north here. So they'll start making their way down past Montauk Point and down New Jersey coast into Virginia, where they'll winter up in North Carolina and the Chesapeake system.
So this is the tail end of it, is it? Like,
yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, October. Usually the largest fish come through last, and you'll get October, November. You got a real shot at a trophy from shore. But they're fewer and far between. The bulk of the fish have moved down south now, where you're hearing a lot of stories now about Montauk and New York area, down in Raritan Bay in Jersey. There we go.
You got one, all right. He was out there on a long cast, eh, Sean?
No, actually, he's right on that rip line.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, not too far from shore. He hit right in that current.
All right. Not a bad way of coming out for a little morning of fishing.
It's not a huge fish, but I'll take it in this weather.
All right. Hey, nice one.
Bob, if you just grab the rod for me there.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right.
Cape Cod fall striper, right?
Yeah.
Bright colors.
That'd
dark
be
over
20 inches plus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
No kidding. Good stuff.
Just dark colors on this dark bottom.
If I get one on this, I think it's 60 braid is all I had in the higher stuff, so that's what he threw on it. Got to cross the ride.
That's actually what we normally use around here is 50-pound braid.
Is that right?
Yeah, not so much for the fish. Well, you never know when you're going to get something big enough on to test that kind of tackle, but the abrasion resistance of the larger braid. And like I said, the bottom here is mostly rocks. If you get hung up, it helps to have the lifting power.
Well, I understand too, these stripers like getting down in the rocks, don't they?
Yeah, you usually find them right along the bottom.
Yeah, and they'll try to, if you hook a big one, they'll go into the rocks, try to break you off.
Yeah, you can feel them. They'll swim in between the rocks and around the rocks, and if you're even on sandy beach surfaces, you'll feel them nosing right down in the sand.
Is that right?
Yeah. A lot of times, if you bring them up quick, right after they've gone down to the bottom, they'll still have mud on their nose. Well, Bob, looks like the current's kind of tailing off here and it's starting to slow down, so I think maybe we should move a little further up the canal.
Well, you
see
know
if we can target another body of fish.
Do a little run and gun fishing this morning before we head back to Ontario, so let's see what we can do. That's a great thing about down here, isn't it, in Cape Cod areas, that you can fish from the shore. There's so many opportunities, you know, to catch fish down here, and it's endless of where you can bank fish.
Miles and miles of endless shoreline on the Cape, and just about all is accessible for shore anglers. So we're really fortunate.
Give it a shot.
We'll be right back after this.
I think I could move down here, man. This is just too good.
Closed captioning is brought to you by FNCC and BoaterExam.com.
Cape Cod offers countless shore fishing opportunities. There are many areas along the canal that are accessible by foot and offer great fishing for stripers. You can also fish in the surf or in marsh areas that flood with tidal waters. The best thing of all is that all of these spots are so close together that you can fish them all in a single day. After little success at the west end of Cape Cod Canal, Sean and I drove over to the opposite end of the canal to try another one of his honey holes. We're walking the Cape today, folks.
Making me look bad.
I'm telling you, I think I could move down here, man. This is just too good.
Oh, there we go.
You got one?
We should have came here first.
Evidently. That's all right.
Oop, he's off. Oh, there he is again. Right in that current line.
You guys are spoiled down here, man. Oh, there's a fish. Unbelievable.
You gotta come down here more often.
I like this.
This is typical fall fishing. Once you get on a good body of fish, it's like this all day long.
No kidding. You catch as many as you want.
At least all tide, till the tide slacks out. Then you'll have to move and find them again.
Well, it's good that, you know, you're working with me today. I mean, because you could be at the office.
Hey, I'll take a hurricane over the office any day.
Okay, we won't air that, okay? Unbelievable how many fish are around this area. Well, I'd say it'd be gale force winds on the ocean today.
Yeah, fortunately, the fish don't care.
There, he came right back for it. Hard fighting little guys, too.
Yeah, they don't give up, that's for sure. Oop, just distance release.
Nice. LDR? I got a little bit different rod than I normally use. This is a 7.5 foot Calcutta spinning rod. It's a saltwater rod. It's got a lot of backbone for these fish. Now you guys typically will use how big a rods?
For the canal area here and beach fishing, I'll use typically around between an 8 and 10 foot rod. I'll run 50-pound braid or something similar.
And like maybe a 4,000 or a 5,000 Stradic, 6,000 Stradic?
Yeah, right now I got a 6,000 on this reel, on this rod. This is probably one of the larger reels that I'd use. I go down to a 4,000 on a lighter weight rod. But you definitely need the lifting power. And they'll just bulldog you right to the bottom.
Nice. Crack that lure. Right. Just keep running and gunning.
Stay tuned for more real fishing after this.
I think this guy's got a better job than I do.
Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. Nearly every sport has an off-season. For anglers, November through December is considered time out. Because fish are cold-blooded, dropping water temperatures slow them down. In many cases, they can stall out completely. Unfortunately, those big autumn runs are most affected by this changeover period. Eventually, once ice forms and temperatures level out, they acclimatize and resume feeding. Falling temperatures also drive fish into deep holes where they often assemble in staggering numbers. It's frustrating to witness steelhead, whitefish, and other species that refuse to hit. Regardless, there's a way to turn this around. First and foremost, only head out on bright, sunny days. Even in sub-zero weather, sunlight will raise water temperature, and that's the key. An increase of a single degree is enough to activate them. It's like a tonic to the fish. It's also a solid fishing pattern. Keeping with this, our best advice is to sleep in. Plan your trip to be on the water during midday as temperatures peak. With an eye on the weather, it pays to be flexible any time of year. If you head out when the going's good, rather than only when you can, you'll enjoy a winning season that just won't end.
While shore fishing in Cape Cod, I was using a white saltwater gulp 5-inch sand eel. I put it on a 3/4 ounce jig head to help get it down in the fast current. I worked the bait by casting it out into the current and bouncing it back towards the slack water near shore. The fish were waiting right on the current break where the slow-moving water meets the fast water. I recently had a chance to take a tour of the Berkley laboratory where they develop power bait and gulp. Talk to Dr. Keith Jones about saltwater gulp.
With us, it started with a simple set of tanks back in a fish hatchery in about 1985. And after working on studying those fish responses, we finally came out with power bait in 1989. In about 2004, we stumbled upon a new formulation for saltwater. And that new formulation proved to be far more potent than the original formulation that we started with. And that really has largely fueled this explosive growth that we've seen in gulp because it works much, much better than what it used to work. I mean, it worked great before, but it works even better now. So in many cases, you just flip the bait out and you just kind of let it sit. And you let it sit, and you let it sit, and then you twitch it just a tad, you know, and you do that for a while. And I mean, even in areas where you weren't catching fish at all, now suddenly you're going to be catching fish again because, in essence, the bait is chumming around itself, and it has worked quite well in saltwater, and people won tournaments that way.
We've got a great audience. The fish are all looking at us. I'm with Mark Sexton from Berkley. Mark, this is my first trip down here to Spirit Lake, Iowa, to the headquarters, and you have the best job in the world.
True.
Bait analyst. You're the first bait analyst I've ever met.
You might not meet another one either.
Well, you work with one of the biggest companies in fishing, and tell me a little bit about what you do.
Basically, I ask fish questions. I say, what do you like to eat? What do you like to smell? What do you like the looks of? Basically, what is it going to take to make you bite this?
I think this guy's got a better job than I do. I mean, he gets to design the baits or make the formulas and then work on them in the field. I like that part. So in the field could take quite a few hours at times, right?
Oh, we go for weeks at a time, but you know, I'm willing to do overtime when it comes to field testing, of course. So,
well, now there's a lot of bass in the tanks here, and I'm excited to see what we can do with some of these fish with some baits. What do you say we do that?
let's do it.
Okay. Brand X.
And power bait. We do what's called the taste test, where we actually drop in something into the tank and the fish grabs it, and then we basically record how many seconds they hold on to it.
This is the competitor, the Brand X.
Nope. He got close to it, couldn't smell anything, and decided it wasn't food.
Okay, the power bait. Oh, wow. That bass can't get enough of it.
He'll eat it. There, he ate a cotton pellet, and I promise you, bass do not like the taste of cotton.
That is amazing.
There's a lot of attractants that are oil-based, and they don't work because when you put oil in water, they don't mix. And so a fish can't actually detect that anything in that oil is there. Power bait is a water-based attractant. So the stuff we put in there, we know the fish like it, it gets into the water and the fish can actually smell it, and then they can be attracted to that smell.
Okay, Mark, you've got a number of different fish here, and just in this row there's 5 different bass, and I'm not skeptical, but I would like to see it on another fish. I mean, that test showed me clearly the power bait cotton ball was superior. The fish ate it. Let's try another one, okay?
Deal. Let's do it.
What do you got now?
This is Brand X.
Okay.
He looks a little timid.
Okay, so Brand X tasted it, didn't like it. Let's see what we got here. Power bait.
Here we go. I think you can set the hook.
I don't think fish lie. Do you?
Fish can't lie.
I've never had one say any lies to me. A few fishermen.
I've had them ignore me several times, but never lie to me.
That is incredible. Well, that is a wonderful test, and it's got me believing that is definitely the bait to use, too. I'm excited.
This is called the robotic angler, and its sole purpose is to drag baits around in this pool. That front arm is where we attach a leader with a weight and a bait, and that back arm is an underwater video camera. And we basically record the fish's reaction to the baits. This is where we test how hard baits trigger strikes and how soft bait actions trigger strikes. This thing has given us a lot of information on how fish react to motion. Because they see motion different than human beings, they can actually see more intricate motion. Because we don't see the same thing, this allows us to test them with faster actions that we can't even see, and then they can tell us whether they like it or not. Most people say it's way overboard for catching a fish, but there's lots of days out there when I'm really happy that we put in this amount of time, because it'll catch me 1 or 2 extra fish, maybe cash me a check.
Mark, what's this room now?
This is our latest and greatest addition. This is what we call the casting lab. We have about 36,000 gallons of water in this tank, and basically it allows us to come out here, swim baits, look at their actions, get feedback from pros just like you. We keep it gin clear, don't put any fish in it, and it's our own little swimming pool, if you will, where we can throw baits out there, pull them around, see what they do, and then we can say, okay, that stinks, or that's awesome.
I want one of these tanks.
I still got the blueprints if you need them.
More great fishing when we return.
If I stand back here, you hold yours up.
This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman.
My tournament stuff. Hey, wait. I don't show anybody here in my garage. This is my favorite room. You know, it's kind of like showing your socks and underwear drawer. You just don't show it to people. Oh, okay, just this one time. Got a few of my outfits here for, you know, wet and cold water fishing. I've also got a lot of my tournament rods bundled up here. I've got some smallmouth rods here and some miscellaneous largemouth outfits. And, you know, when it comes to protecting your investment, the fact is, you know, you spend quite a few dollars now for a high quality rod and reel. Why not protect it? Would you buy a gun if you're a shooter or a hunter, throw it in the bow of a bass boat and bounce down the lake 60 miles an hour? I don't think so. So what I use a lot of are these Velcro straps, and these straps here are great for holding your rods together, whether you're in the boat or even in your vehicle, so they're not ticking around. Isn't that annoying when you're driving and the rod tips are banging? Speaking of rod tips, here's a rod tip protector made out of neoprene. Awesome little device. And for protecting your reels, you've got neoprene cases, and these are just awesome for protecting your spinning reels. And you've also got smaller ones for bait cast reels. This is a strap, an over-the-shoulder strap that works great with the rod straps and tip protector built right in. The fact is, you spend good, hard-earned money for your rods and reels. Why not protect your investment? Here we go, another spot. Next, Sean and I went across the canal to fish in the marshy area around Sandwich. It's full of little canals and waterways that fill up when the tide is in and bring the stripers in with it. There, I got one too.
All right.
Oh, you can't beat that, huh? Oh wait, I'm gonna get mine back in quick. It's a little smaller than yours.
Here, if I stand back here, you hold yours up. This area is real popular with kayakers too, so you can tell it's pretty protected. And the marsh system is kind of nice to paddle through.
How do they fight when you hook one of those?
Hey, you get dragged around pretty good.
Well, hey, Sean, I appreciate it.
I'm glad you came down, man. We had a good day.
You know, good day. Come on now. We've only just we fished less than 2 hours this morning. Drove around, saw some beautiful areas of Cape Cod. Right over there. What's that called now?
That's the Sandwich Jetty on the east end of the Cape Cod Canal.
Okay, that's where we caught a bunch of fish, and
yep.
then we started off by the Academy. That's is that?
Yep, we started down on the west end of the canal at the Mass Maritime Academy.
Okay, and then we finished up here in this deal, which is completely different again.
Yeah, completely different scenario. It's Sandwich Creek, just a small estuary marsh system that feeds out of the Cape Cod Bay behind us.
It's typical, catching a lot of those stripers that size.
Yeah, it's pretty typical most of the year between May and mid-October.
I'll tell you, lots of fun if you're looking for a great place to come. Of course, most people have heard of beautiful Cape Cod. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you.
Cape Cod is truly an unbelievable fishery. Whether in a boat or on shore, there are plenty of fish to be caught. And seeing the Power Bait taste test results firsthand sure has made a believer out of me. It certainly gives me an idea of what I'll be using next time I'm picking up a soft bait. Tune in next week right here for some more real fishing. There, he came right back for it. Good stuff. Unbelievable how many fish are around this area. You guys are spoiled down here, man. Oh, wow. I'm full, eh? Come and get it? I'm coming this way. That is a fish of a lifetime. Whoa. Well, that is just amazing. Look at that thing. Oh, yeah. Wow. That was too cool. Oh,